one in the country. But today I would like to speak on the new education policy, the implementation part of it, where a strict notice has come to us that we must accept it from the UGC, the central body, where we have no other option but to accept the process. Now there are two parts of it. One is the teacher education program, which I will not deal with it today, but the general education curriculum or the 4-year graduate program that was announced and which we are trying to process or go about it. Now this new education policy has come to us after 34 years of the old education policy of 1986. So this new education policy has many things to tell us. Now we are very much aware that when the last education policy was given to us, that was not implemented immediately, but it took some time to complete the process and finally to come to us with the implementation part of it. Similarly, this new education policy has also started its journey during the corona period, but it is, opinions were sought from educationists, from different states, from different persons, but gradually we find that whatever was our opinion, that was not taken into consideration totally, but now we have come to the implementing part of it. So the National Education Policy 2020 recognizes that higher education plays an important role in promoting human as well as societal well-being and in developing India as envisioned in the Constitution, a democratic, just, socially conscious, cultured and humane nation upholding liberty, equality, fraternity and justice for all. I quote, "Given the 21st century requirements, quality higher education must aim to develop good, thoughtful, well-rounded and creative individuals." Now the fundamental principles for curriculum construction as per NEP 2020. Now there are different aspects which are detailed out here, but due to shortage of time, or rather we are running short of time, I would like to highlight on the specific issues like recognizing, identifying and fostering the unique capabilities of each student to promote his or her holistic development. The total aim of this new education policy is holistic development. Like for example, I would mention that there is a proposal that any one subject cannot be taken as we used to in our previous policy, through our previous policy. But now children will be free to accept different types of subjects. So that flexibility of the learners will be there. Multidisciplinary and holistic education is proposed across the sciences, social sciences, arts, humanities and sports for a multidisciplinary world. Now you know that globalization has become an important aspect of our life. So we cannot neglect that, we cannot do away with that. So due to globalization, this multidisciplinary world needs to be developed. So we cannot neglect the different subjects or the different parts of the or different disciplines that will come to us. So emphasis on conceptual understanding rather than rote learning, critical thinking to encourage logical decision making and innovation, ethics and human constitutional values, and life skills such as communication, teamwork, leadership, and resilience. Now, extensive use of technology in teaching and learning, removing language barriers, increasing access for Divyang students, and educational planning and management. Next, respect for diversity and respect for the local context in all curricular pedagogy and policy. This is again very important that we insist on the diversity. Now, equity and inclusion as the cornerstone of all educational decisions to ensure that all students are able to thrive in the education system and the institutional environment are responsive to differences to ensure that high quality education is available to all. So, the motive is high quality, good education, value-based education. So, introducing holistic and multidisciplinary undergraduate education that would help develop all capacities of human beings like intellectual, aesthetic, social, physical, emotional, ethical, and moral in an integrated manner. For this, soft skills such as complex problem solving, critical thinking, creative thinking, communication skills, and rigorous specialization in a chosen field of learning. So, adoption of flexible curricular structures in order to enable creative combinations of disciplinary areas for study in multidisciplinary contexts that would also allow flexibility in course options that would be offered to students in addition to rigorous specialization in a subject or subjects. Now, just to cite an example, that we were never used to this flexibility. But when my daughter went to study in Singapore doing her BTech or the engineering program, she once told me, "Mama, I have taken up economics." I said, "Why? You are doing your engineering course, why did you take up economics?" But she said, or rather she told me, that this is the way we are allowed to take up a subject which interests us or which will be of some help in the future. So that flexibility which was allowed in other countries or rather in a global setup, that type of flexibility is coming to us in our new setup or rather through our NEP 2020. So we must accept it, we must take it within us, and we must go about it and see to it that this flexibility is equally distributed. Now, the undergraduate degree program, as we have come to know, is of either 3 or 4 year duration with multiple entry and exit points or re-entry options with appropriate certifications such as UG certificate after completing 1 year, that means 2 semesters of study in the chosen field of study. Then again UG diploma after 2 years, that means 4 semesters of study. Bachelor's degree after a 3-year, that is 6 semesters program of study. 4-year bachelor's degree, that is the honours degree, will be completed after 8 semesters program of study. If the student completes a rigorous research project in their major areas of study in the 4th year of a bachelor's degree honours with research. So we are allowing flexibility of going into the research program after the 4th year or rather during the 4th year of the student's study. Now the 4-year bachelor's degree program is considered a preferred option since it would provide the opportunity to experience the full range of holistic and multidisciplinary education in addition to a focus on the chosen major or minors as per the choices of the student. So According to the choice of the student, as I was telling you about my daughter, the major is the engineering program and the minor is the economics program. So here also, major and minor will be allowed. So inclusion of credit-based courses and projects in the areas of community engagement and service, environmental education and value-based education. Now these are some of the transformative initiatives to be taken up here in the higher education program. So environment education to include areas such as climate change, pollution, waste management, sanitation, conservation of biological diversity, management of biological resources and biodiversity, forest and wildlife conservation and sustainable development and living. Then value-based education, as I told you, lessons in service and participation in community service programs to be an integral part of this holistic education. Global citizenship education and education for sustainable development to form an integral part of the curriculum. Students to be provided with opportunities for internships, internships with local industry, business, artists, crafts persons, etc., as well as research internships with faculty and researchers in their own or other higher education institutions or research institutions, so that students may actively engage with the practical side of their learning and as a byproduct further improve their employability. So whatever they study, that would be related to their employability. That is again another new aspect where we complete our study and wait for employment. Here we can associate studies with employment. Reorienting teaching programs to ensure the development of capabilities across a range of disciplines, including sciences, social sciences, arts, humanities, languages, etc. Now, some of the main features of the new curriculum framework. So, when we conclude with it, we find flexibility, opportunity for learners, facilitating multiple entry and exit options, flexibility for learners to move from one institution to another, flexibility to switch to alternative modes of learning, that means offline, OTL and online learning and hybrid modes of learning. Now, regulations for academic bank of credit. This is again very important and very acceptable in the sense that if a student completes 1 year and then goes to another institution for some other course, then that credit will be deposited like we deposit money in the bank. So this academic bank will deposit the credit and keep it for the students for the next course of study that he or she pursues. The curriculum consists of major stream courses, minor stream courses and courses from other disciplines, language courses, skills courses, others, and say health and wellness, yoga education and sports and fitness. So all different types of courses may be included in this course structure. Now, curricular components of the undergraduate program, that means the first is disciplinary, interdisciplinary major. This I discussed that there will be some major and some minor, which each and every student are eligible to take up. Now, B part is disciplinary and interdisciplinary minors. Now, so long we used to study our own subjects. Suppose my subject is education. So I studied education as honors, education as masters, and PhD in education. But now the student will be flexible to take up not only education, but something related, say philosophy, psychology, sociology, or something not related, that means physics, chemistry, biology, or anything, or from any discipline. So this option will become very open to each and every student in future. And another important aspect is the vocational education, which will start or begin from a very young age. Now the C is courses from other disciplines, that means multidisciplinary. As I was saying, that not only from your own subject, but other subjects, say from science to humanities, from humanities to science, or from humanities to music, art, culture, anything as you like. Now, mathematics, statistics and computer applications, library, information and media service sciences, commerce and management, humanities and social sciences. Now, D part is ability enhancement courses, that means AEC. Ability enhancement courses include modern Indian languages, that is MIL, and English language focused on language and communication skills. Students are required to achieve competency in modern Indian languages and at the same time and in English language with special emphasis on language and communication skills. Now that is how we find that there are many institutions coming up which are skill-based institutions, skill-based say colleges, universities, where this type of courses can be offered. Now, these courses are aimed at imparting practical skills, hands-on training, soft skills, etc., to enhance the employability of students. The institution may design courses as per students' needs and available institutional resources. Now, the F part of it is value-based courses and common to all undergraduate students. So, under this will come understanding India, environmental science and education, digital and technological solutions, health and wellness, yoga, education, sports and fitness. Now, this again is another important part where there should be summer internship or apprenticeship. A key aspect of the new UG program is induction into actual work situations. So all students will also undergo internships or apprenticeships in a firm, industry or organization, or training in labs with faculty and researchers in their own or other 24 curriculum and credit framework for undergraduate programs. Now, just as we find that in the teachers training program, we send our students to the school for internship. Previously, we used to call it practice teaching, but now we mention it as internship. Now, when a student is in the medical, then that student also has to go for some internship in the hospital. Now, an engineering student needs also to go complete some internship program. So this type of, now we from the, humanities or science discipline or some other discipline which do not have this internship type of program or apprenticeship, that will be included in the present curriculum setup. Now, community engagement and service. So this is also another type of internship or apprenticeship when we reach the community and take care of the community through some literacy program or social service program. That can also become an apprenticeship or internship. Then field-based learning or minor projects can be taken up. This will attempt to provide opportunities for students to understand the different socio-economic context. It will aim at giving students exposure to development-related issues in rural and urban settings. It will provide opportunities for students to observe situations in rural and urban contexts and to observe and study actual field situations regarding issues related to socio-economic development. At one point of time, the NCP in the teacher education program insisted on sending the students for internship from the urban areas to rural areas, from rural areas to urban areas to complete their internship, to make them, accustomed with the social life situations. And suppose that student gets a job in a rural area, then coming from a, say, urban area from his or her residence, that student might not be able to cope up in a rural setting. So this internship, changing of the situation, changing of the environment might help the student to cope up with their service life or with their changed situation. Now, research project or dissertation, as I was telling you, the fourth year will be a research project or dissertation year. So students choosing a 4-year bachelor's degree honors with research are required to take up research projects under the guidance of a faculty member. The students are expected to complete the research project in the 8th semester. The research outcomes of their project work may be published in peer-reviewed journals or may be presented in conferences, seminars, or may be patented. Now, other activities include participation in activities related to National Service Scheme, National Cadet Corps, adult adult education literacy initiatives, mentoring school students and other similar activities. Now, this is the entire course structure that has been recommended, and it is our duty to accept it, to follow it, to prepare it. But so far, so long, we are in the process of discussion and yet to achieve it or yet to implement it. So this course structure, I am not detailing it now because you can see it on the screen. Now it has 160 credits, discipline or subject provided, they secure 160 credits. So whether we take up this 160 credit or we increase it or decrease it or we differentiate university-wise, that is again another thing that is to be discussed. Because as far as the other national education program that we have till now, their universities differ. The total marks allotted, the total credits given, universities differ. So whether we accept it in toto or we differ university-wise or state-wise, that is yet to be decided. But the main aspect is that we must take it up, we must discuss, and it is said that from the next academic year, we must be able to implement it in every state as per the directives. So I thank you once again, and my respect to all the persons, all the dignitaries here, together with other teacher participants and students, and I thank everyone and wish you all the best in future. Thank you so much.